I am Charmaine, and I am blessed to be here with you. This is Impact Gospel Radio, and the program I do is Impact. I mean, mental health, a holistic impact. I was asking my husband if I need some titivating, some makeup and stuff, and he said, no, you can't improve on perfection. And so that's why I missed my step when I said mental health, a holistic impact, and this is Impact Gospel Radio. This program looks at anything and everything that can affect your mental health. And everything and anything, if we don't know what we are doing, if we don't know how to analyze it, if we don't know how to control ourselves, can impact our mental health. It can impact us negatively or positively. And I would like our mental health to be impacted positively, because when we are positively impacted, that's a dog. When we are positively impacted, we do ourselves justice, we do other people justice, and we are better people in society. It's just a fact, people. Go do your research. It's a fact that when we are mentally healthy, we do healthy things. Overall, healthy things. We make healthy decisions. Not for ourselves alone, because we feel good about ourselves when we are mentally healthy, and so it motivates us to help others. It's a fact. Go do your research. I decided that I don't need to do too much research, because everybody has a phone and everybody has a responsibility to take care of themselves just the way their creator had created them to take care of themselves. And you might think that your creator create you to destroy yourself, or you don't know a creator that is loving and caring, or the creator that you know doesn't care about whether you're impacted positively or negatively, or the creator that you know just cause trauma in your life, or just cause just devastating things in your life. That's not the creator I know. I know the creator that created me out of love. When I look at myself, when I look at the fine-tuned creativity of my creator, for instance, my eyes in my socket, and my teeth in my gum, my tongue moving up and down, my ear listening, when I just look at how created I am, I know it's a loving person, that loving God that created me. And so I know that because a loving God created me, I know that I should take care of myself in a loving way. And I wish everybody would know that. I wish people would know that their creator is not demonic. Their creator is not evil. These are impersonators that try to take over the creator's creativity and led you to believe something else. The creator do not want you to harm yourself or harm others. The creator wants you to love yourself and love others. But, as I said, impersonators will let you believe different. It's our responsibility to take care of ourselves. And people I know, our family members can destroy our lives. I know how wicked and how kumuchin, and I don't want to use all the bad words, like conceited. I know how people who are close to us can be that way. Whether our close friends, our spouse, our family member, and strangers can be really vindictive and wicked towards us. In that saying, it doesn't mean that we should keep them around us, because that will damage our mental health. We need to be in good mental health. Producer, what's the problem? Okay. If that's a problem, that's a problem. Start to behave yourself over there. All right. We are just going to jump into the Raymond family saga, because don't forget that when I come here to speak to you, I talk about things that I know from a licensed, certified psychotherapist point of view. I also come to you with my personal experiences, and I come to you with the Raymond family saga. It's a family story. It's a story that entails a family. The the things that they go through, what they do, how they recuperate, what happened, and it reflects normal things that family normally goes through. The thing is, on the normal side, when family goes through a rough time, they use strategies to take them out of the rough time. Some people, though, don't know how to use strategies to control their emotions and control their mental health state. And so they fall in a trap. Deep. They fall in a deep trap. So I'm going to go to the Raymond family saga. If you remember last week, the Raymond family saga is on YouTube. All the newer episodes are on top, and the old episodes are on bottom. It's a good story, people, really and truly. Last week, Karen's aunt Veronica died. She died from kidney failure. Her aunt died from kidney failure. And so Veronica was distressed, people. So Veronica is 19 years old. Veronica's aunt was giving her some advice, give her some possession that she put in a bag for her. And after that, she went into the hospital. Veronica went into the hospital and died from end-stage kidney disease. This was 3 years after Veronica had been with her. So we're going to catch up with the story. You know that Veronica was distraught. So let's go ahead. Karen was alone and was unable to get any job since she was too young and had no American identification. Karen started working in a restaurant and laundromat and could hardly support herself. She had a difficult life, a difficult past that was tormenting her dreams and journey. The loss of her aunt was unbearable. She felt like she was unable to deal with such loss. Karen felt like she was losing her mind with grief. Her aunt, her heart hurt so bad, it was like someone holding it in their hand and squeezing a fist around it. I'm going to talk a little bit about grief here. I normally do counseling. I normally do therapy. I volunteered for one of those therapy places in the city. And I used to get people with all kind of problems. Grief was one of those problems. And they would sit in front of me and talk about grief, and I would listen and I would walk with them through it. But until January 2020, I never really knew what grief felt like. I knew that when my friends lost their loved ones, I know the pain. I could see, like, when they cry and how sad they were. I could, like, put my imagination into it. But until I lost my brother, I knew what grief was. I look at grief, and when people sit in front of me from grieving someone, I look at it different. Grief, people, can actually destroy you. Let me rephrase that. Grief can destroy you because the way it affects our mind, the hurt that we feel, it feels like someone is having your heart in their hand and squeezing that to the point where you cannot control the hurt that you're feeling. It goes into your mind where you are standing, you feel like you're standing in the middle of the road and you don't know which direction to turn, and there are taxi men or bus men or drivers, vehicles, people coming to you and blowing their hand and said, "Lady, get out of the way. Are you mad?" Grief is where you go home. Listen, I'm talking about my own grief. Grief is where I go home, I take a taxi and don't know where I am, and somebody put me in my house, and I lay in my bed and I am there thinking about this pain, why it happened, why not another day, why not another day? Why not some years down the line? Why today? And just thinking, and cannot eat, cannot sleep. Your mind is just in it's not even a cloud. Your mind is in such a space where you are not numb, because a numb person cannot feel grief. Grief is felt by people who have feelings and emotions. A person who is narcissistic cannot feel grief. A person who don't have conscience cannot feel grief. A person who cares about nothing and no one cannot feel grief. It takes a caring, loving person to feel the grief of someone they lost. And the relationship between the lost and you count for something. Because if I don't love the person too much, because you know people have a stage of love, they don't do it according to the Bible. So there are three producer. I'm getting to you now because I don't remember this, but I read it. The type of love. There are three different types of love. The love that God gives us, which is unbelievable. You know what? I don't want to think about that love. It's too much for me. Agape. And the others?
Eros.
Eros and?
Phileo.
Phileo. Those are type of love where you categorize where the person stands and how the person you feel about the person. You know what? We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we look into these type of love and grief and how we can manipulate and manage and navigate ourselves from the grief that we feel. Let's take a break. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Charmaine Brown, and I'm blessed to be here with you. We are here, Impact Gospel Radio. This is Mental Health, a holistic impact. This is where I look at anything that affects our mentality. People, honestly, if our mind is not well, we are not well. Stop it. Stop it. If our mind is not well, we are not well. Because what we think about is how we live our life. If we think that we are prosperous, we live prosperous. If we think we are blessed, we live blessed. If we think that we are a K-L-E- we live like that. And we don't want to reach to that point. We were talking about grief and the different type of love. We have agape, which is God's love. We have phileo, which is brotherly love. And we have eros, which is sexual love. If it depends on what the type of love you have for that person who passed on, or who is no longer in your life, or who is in your life but is dead to you. I'm going to fence up that talk. Producer, make sure you fence up that talk by bleeping it out. Bleep, bleep, bleep. We're going to bleep that out. I'm serious, producer. I miss my train of thought. Okay, people. The person that you're grieving, wherever that person is, because that person doesn't have to be dead for you to grieve something. It doesn't have to die. It depends on how you feel about that person. If you truly love that person, brotherly love that person, to the point where it feels like you really miss something out of your life when that person leaves, it can be devastating. It can be devastating in the sense that where you cannot do anything. And when you're doing something, you're not focused. And because you're not focused, you're making a lot of mistakes. And when you're making a lot of mistakes, you can cause harm to yourself and to others. It doesn't matter what job you do. Because even if you're a cleaner, and I'm not putting down anyone, cleaner, I get along with everyone in the workplace. But I'm just saying, even if you're in custodial and you did the floor, you will lose focus when you mop that floor. You do not remember to put the no walk sign or the wet floor sign, and somebody go there, slip and slide and hurt themselves because you're not focused. You didn't remember. If you're in a CEO position and you lose somebody who you really love, you can sign document that you didn't read and give away a lot of stuff that were not supposed to be given away. And so what I'm saying is, it don't matter if you're on the top of the chain or if you're on the bottom of the chain. It doesn't matter where you stand. Grief affects you in such a way, can affect you in such a way where the mistakes are unforgivable. Because if somebody is hurt because of what you did, and God forbid something happened to that person and their family start to grieve, then your grief is double trouble. So Karen here was having a hard time with her aunt's death, and I understand what that meant. And I know what that means because I have lived it and I have gone through it. And so I knew what she meant. So Karen could hardly catch her breath. She was finding it difficult to breathe. She even felt like she was having a heart attack. People, have you ever gone through grief? Like seriously gone through significant grief? Have you ever had a child in your life that something happened to that child and you feel like you're losing that child, or that child don't seem like they're recuperating fast enough, or you have a parent in your life that something is going on with, or a spouse, or even a pet, or something is going on with that person and or that animal, that pet, and you really feel like you're having a heart attack, I'll give you a story. One time, I can't remember how young I was, 21, 22, 23, maybe. I have to check it. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 26, 27, 26, thereabout. I was talking to this guy, and I love this guy so much. Love him. And I don't know, I can't remember what happened. Because it's years ago, right? I can't remember what happened. And people, I could not lie down and sleep. I feel like I was having a heart attack. I had to sit up. I had to sit up and sleep because it felt like each time I lay down, my heart was being grasped. And I was losing my breath. I felt like I was having a heart attack. And I didn't even lose anyone. Yeah, we had parted, like we had some issues. But the person didn't even, we didn't break up or anything. And my heart felt like that. Can you imagine losing somebody who you really love? I can't, I lived through it, as I said. Karen did not know what to do or where to go. She just knew she was hurting. At least she know that she was hurting. Some people will come to therapy and you ask them a few questions and you say, tell me about what's going on. And they said, I don't know. So if you don't know how you come to therapy, like if you don't know what's going on, why did you come? There must be something significant why you would leave and drive so far to come to therapy. Or why you would download a Zoom and connect to Zoom to come and talk to a therapist. There must be something going on. You cannot say you don't know. There must be something going on why you decide to come to therapy. So Karen here she knew she was hurting. At least she know that she was hurting. Some people don't know that they are hurting. Some people live in their mind highs. Some people lived in themselves. Some people lock away that grief, lock away that hurt, and keep it internally and keep walking like a zombie, up and down, work, home, relationship, and hide it away where it is eating away inside, and they don't know that this makes them more sick than them coming and speaking about it. People, I always tell you that I believe everybody has a phone. In my mind, anybody who is 15 years and over, I believe that they have a phone. You go research it, people. Go and research it. Internal hurt is worse than external expression. When you're hurting internally, it can cause a lot of things to happen to you physically. You can have stomach erosion, stomach ulcer because you don't eat the way you normally eat. It's there in one of my videos. Go on YouTube, it's there. Your muscles become weak because you don't get out of bed anymore. You stay in bed because of depression. You don't talk to people, you don't express yourself, so you become angry inside. And if anything happened to you, you just start blasting. If a stranger passes you, you start blasting the stranger. The stranger doesn't even know what they do. But because you have internalized this hurt, you want to push it onto somebody who doesn't even know you. How is that working out for you? Karen did not know where to live, and she could not focus on anything that Veronica said to her. Remember? You remember all the advice? You remember all the advice that Veronica gave to Karen? All of this got out of Karen's head. And don't forget that Veronica begged her and asked her to promise her that she will not forget. I told you, do not promise anybody anything. If you cannot keep your promises, do not do it, people. Promises, some people don't know how sacred promises are. Promises are very sacred. God promises his son to us, and he kept his promise. I'm not saying we're gods. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying promises are very sacred, and if you cannot keep the promise, do not make them. And those persons who are promising people for better or worse, and you know that you're not going to do for better or worse, do not do it. Don't say it. Do not say it. If you're promising somebody for better or worse, make sure you mean it. And don't only mean it for today. And that's why I encourage people to do premarital counseling. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're in Hollywood, Nollywood, Bollywood, Sallywood, Pollywood, Collywood, name the wood. I don't care where you are. Because some persons who are in these woods decided that they're going to do a vow. And they're going to take somebody and walk down the aisles with them. And they're going to make vows. And they don't mean what they're doing. They don't care about the vows. They care about what they can earn, what they can get, and what they look like, and who they want to impress. And I am saying to you right now, if you cannot keep the promises that you're making, do not do it. I'm going to continue my stuff. I was trying to come up with a verse that says you're not to make promises, but I cannot come up with the verse right now. On my break, I will come up with the verse, because then I can think. On my break, I can think about it. Karen did not remember where she put the information that Veronica gave her. Even the information that Veronica tied up in a piece of plastic bag give Karen. Karen did not remember where it was. That's what grief do to you. Karen decided to go back to New York. This is a saga. People, if you remember when Karen came to the United States. If you remember when she came to the United States, remember that Karen came on an academic visa. She came to do something because she did something at school. And so they gave her a visa because she was competing in a competition. And then she went to New York first, where she did the competition, and then she ran off to her aunt in New York. Go look at the story there on YouTube. And then now, she had no one in New York. She know nothing in New York when she came up. Now she decided to go back to New York to what? We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will go into the family saga to see what Karen is up to with her life. Let's take a break. Welcome everyone. I am Charmaine Brown and I'm blessed to be here with you today. I do mental health, a holistic impact, where we look at anything and everything that affects your mental health. And I am here because I want you to be in positive. I want you to strive, people. I want you to strive because I know what it is like not to strive. I know what it is like to be in pain and not want to be here. And when I mean here, I mean here. I mean in the world. So I want you to be, I want your mental health to be on the top. Because when your mental health is on the top, when you are striving mentally, no one can tear that away from you. No one can tear off your stripe. Because if you have positive self-confidence, high self-esteem, because you have positive mental health, no one can tear your stripe off. Okay? And that's where I want you to be. A lot of us watch this show. This is a place where you are safe. When you come here, no one can tear off your stripe either. No, if you make comment, no one can say, oh, this, that. No. This place, when you come, what you see, if you can't say something positive about it or encourage a person about it, don't come. I will block you. This is a safe place, and those who normally watch, welcome. I appreciate you, and those who are watching for the first time, we welcome you. But I want you to be in the position where you are walking in strength, you are walking in confidence, you are walking out because your mental health have been formed in such a way where it tells you things positively and you do positive things. That's where I want you to be, and that's why I do this show. This show I do because I want you to be in a position where you can overcome everything and all things. Nothing should put you down where you are scrambling up to get from where you are in the pit. Nothing should put you in the pit where you are scrambling to get out of that pit. You should have enough strategies to use to control things around you and things that are inside of you. What I mean by that? So, there are normally people around us, events that happen around us, whether man-made or God's made, whatever made it is, that can happen, that can take us out of balance. We need the strategies to put ourselves back in balance, how to deal with those things. There are thoughts that we might think about ourselves, because sometimes you wake up and feel like you're not doing that great, and you start telling yourself, I'm not doing great, and you don't want to see these people, and you don't want to talk to anybody, and you start the day off negatively already. And as the day goes by, you become worse than what you're normally not. You should know who you are, who you normally be, and find ways to get back to that place where you can positively impact your own self, where you can impact others. So here we go. Let your name. Remember I was talking about Hollywood, Bollywood, Collywood, Sollywood, and marriage and vows and all of that. Matthew 5 verse 37 says, let your yes be yes and your no be no. It means if you make a promise, make sure you keep the promise. If you cannot make the promise, that's okay as well. It's okay if you can't make a promise. That's what I'm saying. Let's go back to the Raymond family saga. So Karen wanted to go back to New York. Remember, Karen don't know anybody in New York. She vaguely remembered her aunt took her to a friend in Brooklyn, but she could not remember the address. I went to Brooklyn and I can't remember that nobody addressed there. I went to Brooklyn and it was so bad. I'm not taking you up. Go over. I went to Brooklyn and I couldn't even remember the addresses where we were going. And when we did find where we were going, there was not even any place to park. We didn't even have a park. We were just driving around and around and around and around and around. We could not park to go greet anyone. The person who we went to look for had to come down and get somebody to move their car for us to park into that space. And we couldn't even spend more than, we drove around for maybe 45 minutes or more. And we couldn't come out of that car. And when we did come out of the car, we couldn't even stay 20 minutes. That's how bad Brooklyn is. For me anyways. People, I am not bashing Brooklyn. I have lots of people live in Brooklyn. Big up Brooklyners. Is it Brooklyners? Oh. Brooklynites. Is it Brooklynites? You text me and tell me what you call Brooklyn, people who live in Brooklyn. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know many things. I don't know. I do not know what they call it, people who live in Brooklyn. Anyways, Karen, remember, Vernica took her to one of Vernica's friend who lived in Brooklyn, but she couldn't remember this lady's address. Obviously, this was a kind lady. Karen depended that when she arrived in New York, she would recognize the name of the place and house. Karen probably didn't realize. Karen probably didn't realize. People, you know, when you go to a place for the first time, the impression that is left on your mind, you probably don't remember. After leaving a couple days after, you probably don't remember what it is like. When I went to Ottawa, and while I was going to Ottawa, it was beautiful because I took the train from Ontario to Ottawa. It was a beautiful, because I love train ride, right? It was a beautiful view and I loved it. But while I was in Ottawa, it wasn't so beautiful. I didn't like it. Maybe it is beautiful, but I didn't like it. And so I wanted to leave Ottawa, and I did leave Ottawa. So Karen here, Karen depended on that. When she arrived in New York, she would recognize the place and the address her aunt took her. Listen to me, there's lots of houses and lots of places in Brooklyn that looks alike. So I don't know what's going to happen to Karen. I'm going to stop the story there and chit chat with you a little bit. So, you're wondering why this show. I have had lots of people who was very close to me who was affected with mental health issues. Some have gone on. Some have passed on, people. That's patois. Some have passed on. And some, I still have people close to me with mental health issue. I had gone through a period of my time where I was in physical pain and it affected my mental capacity, decision making. And I have worked in places where I've seen people suffered from mental health issue, and I come with the knowledge to you as a licensed certified psychotherapist to bring what I know, to bring my experience, to bring the story. I want you to know that you are normal and that most people go through almost the same thing, if not similar things. And I want you to know that you can get over it. We are on a lot of social media. We're on Facebook. And sometimes when the show is being aired on Facebook, because we use Restream, there's a program that we use to air the show. I'm not advertising anything. There is a program that we use. Sometimes the volume or the sound not working. When you're seeing that show on Facebook, you can immediately go to YouTube because it's live. it's the same thing going on. You can go to YouTube and get it because we have the sound there. I've never lost the sound on YouTube before. Just to let you know that. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, we are on X, we are on Tumblr, and Instagram. We are on other media as well. I don't know them. When I do 6, I don't do anymore because you should find us on any one of these 6. Those people who normally watch a show, you need to share the show to other people who you know not doing well, because we know that people are not doing well and we know that people are doing great. So let's share the information to others. We are here every Monday at 6:30 Central Daytime, 7:30 Eastern Daytime. This is Mental Health, a Holistic Impact, and we are on Impact Gospel Radio. Bye. We'll see you again.
Let's throw this party in gear. We want the world, come on. Wherever we go, that's where the party's at. Hands up, holler back now. We don't claim any know-how. We giving God all that. Wherever we go, that's where the party's at.
Impact Gospel Radio and Mental Health Horizon. All information posted or aired is merely for educational purposes and is not a substitute for seeking further professional advice. While the information aired has been verified to the best of our abilities, we cannot guarantee there are no mistakes or errors. We reserve the right to change this policy at any time. If you want to stay up to date with the latest mental health information, please visit our website at www.mentalhealthhorizon.com, book an appointment at info@mentalhealthhorizon.com, or tune into the broadcast every Monday evening at 6:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time.